I enjoy this fairing.
After a lot of sanding and cleaning and a lot of fairing, or mixing fairing compound, this is what I've done. I've put fairing compound on both sides of the boat, and I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm starting small. I'm hoping that I won't have to remove as much fairing compound if I do it this way. So I'll do more sanding than perhaps a professional would, but probably not as tough sanding, and just more times. So my plan is to fair these taped areas and around the windows, and then I'll what's it called? I'll prime this the two hulls. Brilliant plan, isn't it? I'm sure it's gonna be flawless, but see how we go. There's a lot of fairing going on, and I'm doing some of it off camera because there's only so much fairing that'll be interesting to watch. But what I've done to start with, mostly because I don't know exactly what I'm doing, so is that I started with small areas. So I started, well, maybe not so small areas, but the lower edge here up to the tape to make that smooth, and the same building up to the level of the glass tape here, and I'll let that set for a while, for a couple of days, because it's quite cold here, and then I'll sand it off, and see where I'm at. You might notice this is a lighter color compound. It's because I've mixed with some structural filler here around the portholes. Don't know if that's really necessary or not, but felt like a good thing to do. So I'm building up building up volume around the portholes so that I can make a nice shape, nice rounded edge once I'm happy with the final placement of the portholes. So that's the plan, but first I'll fair the surface, then I'll sort out whatever is left on the portholes. And yeah, I've been doing that all over the boat. Well, on the two outsides. And put forward here, I've started to add some thickness to make the whole bow profile look a little bit more attractive than it did with just the glass. So it's coming out pretty good, I think. Yeah. For someone who has no idea what they're doing, I don't think I'm doing half bad. I can't help myself. I told myself I'd wait a few days before I start fairing, but I just want to get into it, so I started ever so slightly, and using these two fairing boards, and about half an hour or so of sanding. This stuff sands really nicely. It's a West Systems ultralight fairing compound. It's real nice to work with. Featherlight, I think it's called, or something like that. And sands beautifully. And I'm getting a smooth boat. It's heavy work. And I will try my plasterboard sander. Yeah. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, eh? But if it does work, then just imagine how much work and heavy sanding I'm saving myself. This is a big boat. And it's a catamaran, so you have to do everything twice. And yeah, I'll give it a go. See how that goes. I think it's gonna work fine. You just have to be careful. It's meant to smooth out surfaces, not really meant to make them flat, which is pretty much what it needs to do here. So I think it might work.
Selector, rewind selector, rewind selector, rewind selector, rewind selector, rewind selector.
So, this is what it looks like after a bit of sanding. The first layer of fairing and some sanding. You may have noticed that I couldn't use this thing all the way, which is not surprising. It's not very good at shaping stuff because it actually has a soft pad. So there's some, it'll follow contours, but it does remove a lot of material, which has helped me a lot. And then I shape the fairing compound with the torture boards, and I imagine once I'm really happy with the shape, I can come back with this machine and it will smooth everything out. I'm hoping that that's how it will work. There's a lot of sanding on a big boat like this, and for one person it's doing that with a torture board, it'll take forever. So I'll use that as much as I can, but not for the shaping, for a rough removal of material, and for final smoothing. I think it's going to be excellent. Well, I know it's going to be excellent for that. I've tried it here and there, and it works. May not be entirely kosher to use plasterboard sander, but hey, if it works, it works. This fairing is not going to be perfect the first time. Nowhere close, in fact. But yeah, I'm learning, and I think it's going pretty well, actually. So, after the first bit of shaping and a second coat of filler on this part, this is what it looks like. And there are holes and stuff, and I'm not an expert at this, so yeah, there will be imperfections, and some of them will be sanded out, and others will be filled, and I don't at all expect to be done in one go, or even 2 or 3, but I'm trying to do it this way, so I don't use so much fairing compound, and so that even if I'm sanding many times, I'll only be sanding a little bit of material every time. That makes it so much easier for me. I will almost certainly regret these words, but I enjoy this fairing. I'm not yet in excruciating pain, so I'm enjoying it. The shaping is very satisfying. It's a learning process. There's going to be a lot of it, but yeah, it is such an improvement that it is a real joy to do. Yeah, I'm liking this part, and this is what I was imagining I'd be doing 2 months ago or something. But things do not at all work out as fast as you'd like when you're building a boat. Everything takes a lot longer, and buying a boat like this, half finished, you'll find that less than you thought was actually done. So, but I think now the boat is where I thought it was when I bought it. Basically, a little bit better than that. With the improvements we've made over this period of time. But yeah, a good start at fairing, shaping the hull. And you'll notice I have a bunch of holes and stuff like that, and because I'm not a professional at this, I decided I'd just leave it and then come back and fill in these, because it's I'm getting better, but and you can see that in the front here. I mean, the front, this section looks better than that section, and that's all in a day or two of practicing with this. I'm gonna be good at this, I hope, when I get to the port, to the starboard side.
Los Angeles is my home. Had a fair share of heartbreaks, made way too many.